What's up, Bourbon Nation? Welcome to episode number 2 of Battle of the 100 Proof Bourbons. We have our reigning champion, Old Bardstown, who had a good victory last week. Their competitors coming up strong, and it's going to be our Ezra Brooks 99 proof, which isn't 100, but you know, horseshoes and hand grenades. It's close enough. The Trade Wind is going to be our feature bourbon tonight. Trade Wind is a 1792 Barton brand, 70% corn, 21% rye, 9% malted barley. So our feature is going to be a little spicy because we like it spicy. So a recap, if you want the full specifics of the Old Bardstown bourbon, you're going to have to tune into last week's episode, but I will go ahead and give you the mash bill. 72% corn, 13% rye, 15% malted barley. You want to hear the story of it? Like I said, you got to tune into last week's show. The competitor today is Lux Row Distillers. It's Bardstown, Kentucky. 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley, and it is charcoal filtered and aged for 4 years, finished in port wine casks. And this is a really good bottle of bourbon for just $32, which is very comparative to Old Bardstown, which will run anywhere from $27 to $31. Like I said, we're judging bourbons for the little guy, man, not the guy that runs out and spends $300 on a bottle of bourbon on the way home from work.
You mean no Pappy?
You'll never see Pappy on this show. So Chef Deeno here, along with Chef Rob. Say hi to everybody, Chef Rob.
Hi everybody, Chef Rob. Or was that me?
That was him.
All right.
So
Anyway, I don't figure it out. You don't need any Tabasco because everything we got is hot, and you can't add flavor to bourbon.
Nope.
Because then it's not bourbon. So anyway, this is I don't know if I'm. This isn't a picture of my. This isn't a picture of my wife, but it's spicy.
and we are actually in Rob's living room again at the Williams Studios.
Yeah. Hey.
I hope you guys got to watch the tour of the distillery we did yesterday. I'm not going to tell you what it is because you're going to have to go back and look. Get on the channel, go back and watch the preservation. But anyway, watch the video. It was really interesting. We got to do some sampling there, and it was good. And they cut us off right before the tour, but I have everything before and everything after. Very interesting video.
Hey, don't forget about your when you thief that barrel.
Yeah,
the distillery.
That has been so long ago now. I'm going to have to go back pretty soon and try that again because.
Well, when they go to the YouTube, every one of your episodes, you got to frame. All you got to do is scroll over and just pick the one that you like the most.
Yeah, if you ever dreamed of drinking whiskey straight out of a barrel, you'll need to watch that one. That's
right.
The Whiskey Thief Distillery. I haven't even had but one shot right now, so I'm already fumbling my words. But you know, I'm not a young fella no more. So if you notice a little something different than last week, we have already pre-poured our bourbons for our tasting. That way, save a little time and cleaning of the glasses.
Well, that and you want it to open up.
Open up. It's breathing. It's actually breathing. I can actually see it breathing.
You drink it out of a bottle on a railroad track.
Whatever works, man. Just get out of the way when the train comes.
That's it.
So what do you think? Should we let the new competitor go first, or should we go ahead and hit the Old Bardstown first and then rinse the palate? Everybody's been breathing here for a little while.
How they do it on MTV?
I don't know, MTV.
Because they play the winner first when they used to knock the videos off back in the day.
1992. You know, I can't remember that. I got underwear that old, but I can't remember that far back.
I can't even see the name that my mom wrote in the waistband anymore.
That's awful. I guess we'll go ahead and sample the Old Bardstown just because we done it last week and it was the winner, and it's going to be interesting to see the things that we said about it last week, and then a week goes by and then you taste bourbon and it changes. It changes every time you drink it.
Hey, Chef Rod, what if? Think about boxing. You always introduce the challenger before through the champion.
Yeah.
So let's do that. Let's do the challenger first, and then let them step up to the champion.
These will be our middle two bourbons. Am I correct? Very good. So Rob, let's check it out. We're going to look for oily. We're going to look for legs, and man, would you look at the legs on her? Ooh,
Yeah, right.
That's some Marilyn Monroe legs. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that color, folks. Now,
I know my wife's on this channel.
oh,
And if she sees me talking about another lady's legs,
mm-hmm.
but I'm, yeah.
She might hit you with a fly swatter. I heard that's a thing here. All right. So something that we didn't do last time because we're some
Look at
boozers.
that. See that line?
Look at that line.
Where it just clean.
Would that be considered a tan line on the legs?
No.
Oh. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to taste this correctly. We're going to take a garbage shot. That's what I call it. Go ahead and get the palate ready for it, and then we're gonna finish it off. But just remember, in my world, when you take a drink, the pinky has to be out. The pinky has to be out.
Right.
All right. Here's the garbage shot. So we'll cheer. No, we don't cheer garbage shots. All right. We'll just give it a little taste.
We just smack garbage can like
Mhm.
it work.
That's got a real. I'm not going to judge the garbage shot. So we're not even going to talk about this until Rob finishes his shot. So apparently, Mr. Rob's a little thirsty. So what I'm going to do as I finish my sample, I will let Rob explain to you how he's feeling about his, since his has already passed the sternum. So cheers, YouTube, and Chef Rob, tell them about how you felt about that, and I'll be drinking. Drinking.
All right. Well, we already looked at, you know, the legs on it, how it clings on the glass, this and that, or the bottle, depends on, you know, what vehicle you're sipping out of, or drinking, chugging, whatever. But anyway, yeah, you know, you just put a little on your lip. It's kind of like priming. So then you just knock it back, and it's got a lot of rye content, but I'm not really a rye guy, so 20-30%, whatever Rod said. It does have a little heat to it, but it is savory, you know. But that's really all I can say about it.
You know, when he's talking about rye, what I want you to do, that was just 10% rye on that mash bill. So later on, when we actually do the trade water, which was 21% rye, I want you to pay real close attention to Rob's facial expressions when he tries that one, because if that was a little hot, then this trade water is going to be woo-hoo-hoo. But I really enjoyed the Ezra Brooks. It's got a sweet nose, and it's got a very sweet taste in the beginning. But it did after about 8 seconds of going down the pipe, the furnace came on, and you really tasted that spice. So we're going to go ahead and give Mr. Bardstown another sample here after we cleanse our palates with our.
Why does it look like you drank 2 of yours already?
I didn't.
You did?
So
but
we
you're
have
talking about me starting before you got done with your pinky, but
we have straight vodka for our palate cleanser. I'm just kidding, it's water.
palate cleanser.
Palate cleanse with some serious vodka shots.
You're not
water.
that sophisticated.
Not that sophisticated.
Right.
Ain't that how Bugs Bunny said it? Sophisticated.
You know.
We're gonna move on to Old Bardstown.
All right.
And we're gonna give that a nose, a very familiar nose, since it's only been a week that we did this last time. But
it's good. Willett
Distilleries.
There was a reason why it won.
Just remember Willett Distilleries, and if I didn't mention, this is a Lux Row Distilleries bourbon, the Ezra Brooks, and they are also located in Bardstown, Kentucky, bourbon capital of the world, and I'm proud to live just 20 miles from there. All right, so we're gonna acclimate ourselves with our garbage sip.
Now, hang on. Give me a question.
Where's my legs?
Is it just the one that was barrels were changed?
No, that's the first one. The very first one we done did finish up in a wine barrel.
Right.
But I like the color. This is just a little darker than Ezra Brooks 99, so we'll give it our garbage shot here. Acclimate our palate. That's really not as sweet on the front, but there is absolutely no burn on the finish with this. So the amount of rye that's in the Old Bardstown, and I do remember saying the Old Bardstown had 13% rye, which was actually 3% more than the Ezra. But
You got anything left in your glass?
Yeah, we got more rye from the Ezra than the Bardstown. It's a very silent one.
Put a little on your lip.
It's got a real sweet lip.
Isn't that like
It's a sipping bourbon.
It's fruity.
Oh, it's definitely fruity. It's fruity on the lips. This is going to be a tough decision, folks. I don't know. There's that rye. Okay, I was waiting. The garbage shot really didn't give me any rye, but there it is.
But if you go too fast, you'll pick up some burn before you actually get the flavor.
Yeah.
But it was very fruity up
So
front.
what I learned about that was what Chef Rob just said. It was fruity, and if you're a sipper and you're just sipping it to your lips and then licking your lips and swallowing that, that is absolutely candy. But once you go ahead and smash it, the rye really kicks in, and it gives you that Kentucky hug at the end. Both of them do, but I think the Kentucky hug was a little more effective with this Ezra Brooks. So
I like that tagline.
yeah, I like it too,
The
man.
Kentucky hug.
That's what they call it. That's what they taught me when I went to Lux Row. I mean,
We can't put that on a bumper sticker.
I'm sure it's not patented. If you go back down the road a little bit to my former videos, go to the Lux Row distilleries where I did the Green River flight, and we talked about the Kentucky hug on the Green River ride. Not being paid by Green River or Lux Row to say that, but I really enjoyed the Green River, and it's on our list of bourbons that we're going to be sampling here in the near future. Rob, talk to me about Old Bardstown. How you feel about it? I mean, I know you like the sweetness on the lip, and what else you getting from it, man? Anything besides the rye and the fruit? What's your middle? What's your middle like? What's your you know your lips and your finish? What's it feel like on the tongue? You getting any crazy notes from it?
It was just, I was really excited about, trying the champ.
Oh yeah.
But no, it was good all the way through from start to finish. And you hit every point, so
Nice.
anything I say now is just redundancy.
All right, guys, we're going to go away for a minute. We're going to judge this, and we're going to bring you back with the results, and then we'll feature our featured bourbon.
And as Chuck Woolery said, we'll see you 2 and 2.
All right, guys, welcome back to our bourbon battle of the 100's, and we proudly sampled the Ezra Brooks 99 from Lux Row Distilleries, and the defending champion Old Bardstown from Bardstown Bourbon Company, and we have came to a decision, and
Was it came or come?
it's both. So Chef Rob's going to deliver the verdict, and then we're going to talk more about our featured bourbon for the week.
Okay, well, I can tell you like we did last week, there's actually Old Bardstown was not dethroned tonight. It's just it's a great bourbon. The other one's good, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nothing bad about that, but this here, in comparison, we just liked it. It had a lot of good body, but this, we can go body, flavor, aroma, this, that. But anyway, it's just a good, solid bourbon. It's very sweet on the front end, and I mean, it's really good because then you just knock it back, just knock the shot back, and then that's when you get the heat from the rye, and it's just good. But the start is just like, oh, look at me, and then bam.
But if you don't like the heat, you can be a sipper and you still be a bourbon person. You could just take the glass to your lips and just lick your lips and. All right, guys, welcome back to our bourbon battle of the 100's, and we proudly sampled the Ezra Brooks 99 from Lux Row Distilleries, and the defending champion Old Bardstown from Bardstown Bourbon Company, and we have came to a decision, and
Was it came or come?
it's both. So Chef Rob's going to deliver the verdict, and then we're going to talk more about our featured bourbon for the week.
Okay, well, I can tell you like we did last week, there's actually Old Bardstown was not dethroned tonight. It's just it's a great bourbon. The other one's good, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying nothing bad about that, but this here, in comparison, we just liked it. It had a lot of good body, but this, we can go body, flavor, aroma, this, that. But anyway, it's just a good, solid bourbon. It's very sweet on the front end, and I mean, that's really good, because then you just knock it back, like, you know, just knock the shot back. And then that's when you get the heat from the rye, and, you know, it's just good. But, you know, the start is just like, oh, look at me, and then bam!
But if you don't like the heat, you can be a sipper and you still be a bourbon person. You could just take the glass to your lips and just lick your lips. And what kind of notes they get off that, Rob?
Off the what?
So it looks to me like Old Bardstown is our winner.
Yes, yes.
And we're going to feature now, to close the show out, our Trade Water Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, small batch from the Barton 1792 distillery. And my notes tell me that Trade Water is 70% corn, 21% rye.
Burn, burn, burn.
Get ready, burn baby burn, Disco Inferno, 9% malted barley. So this is going to be a spicy, going to cleanse a little bit and save a little bit with the fire out at the end. And then we're going to talk about Trade Water and how it made us feel. We're going to take the garbage shot here and lick at lips and see what's going on.
Oh yeah, it heats. I ain't even knocked it back yet.
That is really sweet on the lips. It is sweeter than...
Yeah, but it just sits on the tongue there a little bit.
It'll fire it up. All right.
What'd you say, 30%?
21% rye. Bourbon Nation, cheers.
There's you, salute.
Woohoo! There it is. Dang. God dang, space shuttle just launched in my throat. Woohoo! That 21% rise coming through like a thunderstorm in April, buddy. Tell you what. But you know, it's got a really, 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 really sweet... The fire department has been called in the Chef Rob land. But you know what? At 21% rye, I'm going to say the Ezra Brooks at 10% rye was actually hotter.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed with this Barton 1792 brand Trade Water Bourbon Whiskey. $30 retail, guys. $30. That's a really sweet, and it's not as hot. Not as hot as I thought it would be. Don't make fun of me. You do 3 shots and try not to stutter. You know.
Oh, don't forget we had some practice runs before.
Yeah, and we had to get our palates ready before the show. So, you know, you go to these tastings, they give you a half an ounce. Ours, we do an ounce a piece. It's all good.
Oh, you got some flights that.
Yeah, flights are good.
You were doing shooters, not shots.
So Trade Winds. I do recommend Trade Winds from Barton 1792 for $32, I think $30 to $32 bourbon. Get off work, clock out, hit the liquor store, drive through,
Yeah,
get you some Trade Water. You'll be real